You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherland's calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.
So, Akwaba. We say Akwaba, we say Asante Sana, we say welcome to the Pan-African Daily TV on this very exclusive special live. I know all of you have been watching the rebroadcast, and sometimes it's really kind of like difficult for people to understand, is this a live session or this is a rebroadcast? But as you know, if it is a rebroadcast, you would see it mentioned on our flyers. This is a rebroadcast. Why are we doing the rebroadcast so often these days? Is because we are almost clocking 30,000 views and or subscribers, and most of the communications and the very important conversations that we did in the beginning, about 20,000 subscribers, are not up to date. So it is a matter of rebroadcasting, because the same knowledge, the same education is what is relevant for our new followers and the ones that keep subscribing every day. So be aware of the fact that we're going to be doing a lot of rebroadcasting and a lot of lives as well as we continue to build, because it is very important for you to understand that the Pan-African Daily TV has at least 200 subscribers each day. And every new subscribers meet us on the point where we are now. So it is just but necessary that all the productions, and we've been producing up to 800 and plus conversations since the past 1 year. And so we'll be broadcasting the same. Nothing has changed since 2002 that we started the Pan-African Daily TV. And so the same challenges that Africans in the continent or in the diaspora are facing, the need for us to connect, the need for us to network, the need for us to share and educate one another for the unity of motherland and also for our healing. So we're talking about our history, we talk about our ancestors and the great voices that made Africa what it is today, that we are constantly remembering them, calling upon their spirit in the kind of way that we evoke their words. We bring their vision to the table, because that was a vision that never had been realized, never was achieved. Most of them were cut on the journey short, but they left a lot of footprints. And this footprint is where we are picking today, analyzing today, studying this history, and then building the future of the Africa that we want. So I want to welcome all of you who are joining on the show today. Today, we want to talk about the Earthday, or what some people refer to actually as the birthday of Dr. Osagyefo Nkrumah and his vision for Africa. So they are celebrating, or Dr. Kwame Ideological Institute in Ghana is celebrating and commemorating with the whole world the incredible vision and the work of this great ancestor. And he's watching us and bringing the spirits alive. So we want to welcome you into this conversation as these two cute, smart, young spirits of Africa, new face of ours, sitting right here in the studio with us. They want to educate us how to even come to plan a day like this. Is it really the awakening that is shaking Africans worldwide, and the spirits are gathering and saying, hey, we left to work. What are you people doing? Now the young people are picking it up to bring it to the table, to table it as the way forward. How can we learn? How can we push it? So it means we don't even have work to do. The Marcus Garveys, the Malcolm X, the Nkwame, all the ancestors that you know, even the latest Dr. Ronoko, they already create the work. What are we working for again? They already wrote the history that we should be studying now. So our ancestors actually prepared us well. The Creator prepared us so well. So, irrespective of the thousands of religions that we're talking about, the thousands of mother tongues that we're talking about, whatever status and gender and religious background and countries of origin that we're talking about, that could be our disenfranchisement. No, the work was already done. We just need to reach out to it, re-energize ourselves, touch base with the source, and we are ready to go. So I want to welcome these two guys here in the channel with me. One is connecting from the United Emirates, and the other one from the continent motherland in Ghana, Accra. So welcome to the show. How are we doing today?
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We are doing very well.
I would like to start with you, Prince. Okay, because you're connected from so far out of the continent. How was your day today? And then we go to Kwame.
Today was a nice day, as usual, very hot, and Africans finding it difficult to make ends meet. But we are grateful to the leadership of United Arab Emirates in what they are doing to make life better in terms of fighting the COVID-19, not bothering people a lot with stringent measures, but at least reducing the burden of doing the PCR test, then giving vaccine to everyone who is here free of charge. So these are some things that at the beginning that was difficult for the fellow comrades here, but nowadays it has become a little easier. And the most important thing again is they are always ready to help when someone is in need, and that is good. Yeah, but we would have loved to have more help or engagement from our own local diplomats or consulates and embassies around here. That is something that maybe in the future you can try to look into. What are our representatives doing to us, or how are they handling us in these foreign countries? Yeah. However, it was a good day. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. I think we'll have to have a conversation on that alone, because we have to actually know what are they there for. When they say they are diplomats, so they have a diplomatic mission. Are they out there to care for their citizens, or just to sell visas and make some business? So that would really be a very important topic to touch on. And even if they were only as diplomats, how can you be a diplomat in a country that is representing your own people and you don't show concern? Yes. So, but that will be a topic for another day. And thank you so very much that all of you are safe out there and you find a comfortable place, but don't be too comfortable to build home. I hope you know that, and that's the reason why you're doing this, right? All right, Nkwame, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, Dr. Susan, since you hosted me. I thought you had versed me. I don't know. But I want to thank you for the work you are doing. Actually, one of the things which people are not realizing is that Pan-African Daily TV is one of the TV stations that have already seen the future, because the future is in the cloud now, is online. The traditional television stations are out of date. This is a paradigm which is going away, because everything now is shifting online, whether it is radio stations, whether it is TV stations. So TV stations like Pan-African Daily TV, which have seen the future already, I think they are in the right, position. I think you guys have already seen the position, and it is very fortunate that it is a Pan-African TV, a TV which is going to represent, or which is already representing, Africans in this space. So I want to congratulate you on that, and on top of that, I also want to congratulate you for all the knowledgeable people you always bring to teach, our people. A lot of people, you brought a lot of people like, Dr. Smalls, a lot of people. I cannot, start counting. There is a lot of knowledge which you have brought out for us to be able to learn. The people in Ghana are okay. People are going about their normal duties. Myself, I'm doing all right, but we are engaged in a struggle, and that struggle has never been relevant than today. When we talk about the celebration of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, I want to remind the people that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in 2000, a BBC poll was conducted, and Africans were asked who is the African of the millennium. And during that time, the great Nelson Mandela was still alive. So of all the people who were selected, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was given the biggest number of votes according to a BBC poll which was conducted. So I want people to go out and search. You can Google that even on YouTube and check out that information. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah died in 1972, 14 years before I was born. I was born in 1986 myself, and from that period up to now, I would like to remind you, maybe if you didn't know, I come from East Africa. Myself, I'm from Uganda, but I came to West Africa, and I've lived there for the last 10 years. So I consider Africa my home. I've been to Sierra Leone. I've been to Kenya. My grandmother was born in Tanzania. So I'm just a pure African. And when I came in contact with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's ideas in around 2014, and I started reading some of the things he wrote down, this man, it is very difficult for you to read what he wrote and not be infected, by his thinking, by his thought, the kind of love that he had for Africa. It is incredible. It is unimaginable that when you read what he's saying, it is almost impossible for you not to be infected by his thought, his type of thought. And this is the importance actually of reading. When you see people like Dr. Runoko Rashid, Dr. Henry Clark, Dr. Smalls, all these people, Dr. Wesling, when they put their writings down in books, it is not for fun. It is not for, for making money. It's not that they want to make money. These people are putting down their thoughts so that these thoughts can help us in the future. One of the things which is very interesting about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is that he said that when he was in exile, remember he was overthrown in Ghana from his presidency in 1966. And he went in exile in Guinea, Conakry, where he was invited and he became a co-president with President Sekou Toure. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, he wrote a statement down and said that, I'm in the knowledge that death can never extinguish the torch which I have lit in Ghana and Africa. He continued on to say that long after I'm gone and dead, I know that the torch, the fire will continue to burn, giving light to all people. So this is somebody who was very sure of what he has done. So this reminds us of what I said, that when our ancestors put down writings, Dr. Henry Clark, all of them, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, all of them, it is not for fun. It's not that they want to make money. It's not for anything. It's because they want us to get this information and use it as we are going forward in building the new African nation, the new Africa which we all desire, the Africa which had a civilization that lasted for more than 5,000 years. So this is what we are trying to do. This is what we are building on. So when we are talking about celebrating Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, this is what we mean. I came across a book that actually steered my interest in him, and that book was called The book is called The Selected Speeches of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The book was, the speeches were compiled by a gentleman called Samuel Obeng from Ghana. Sometimes ago in the 60s, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's writings had been outlawed in Ghana. But there is some people who kept some of the books which he wrote. And after, you know, these regimes which were outlawing his writings were removed from power. So people started coming up and publishing some of the writings, and other books were even outside Ghana already. So this is the importance of writing, so that we people can find this information. Can you imagine that he died 14 years before I was born? You see, 14 years before I was born. I was born in 1986, and the man died in 1972. Now, I come across his writings almost after, 26 years. You see, 26 years. So if you add 26 after, you add 26 to 14, that's around 40 years. So I came across Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's writings 40 years after he has died. So this is the importance of writings down people's thought. So I would encourage that any African who has ideas and the things that they can contribute to building our African nation, they put them down in writing. So that is very important. But everything is going on very well in Ghana. We are in the mood of celebrating the great Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the African of the Millennium. He was voted the African of the Millennium, according to BBC, in 2000. And we have continued to celebrate him because his ideas transcend time. This is an individual whose ideas transcend time. I was discussing with a friend of mine about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, because this is a figure who comes up every day in conversations, whether it is in Ghana, all over Africa. His name is always coming up, and people should ask themselves, why does this figure come up? Why does this personality come up all the time whenever people are talking? It is because of these ideas. Now, this should push us to go back to his writings, the things he said, the speeches. Even some of the speeches have been published on YouTube. We can go out there because of the things he said. He envisioned, the Africa he envisioned has not been realized. This is why his name always keeps coming up. So we need to pay attention, close attention to his writings, and then we need to pay close attention to what he was saying. What was he saying? What he was talking about 60 years ago is the Africa which we want, is the Africa which we are fighting for today. We don't need to reinvent anything. Everything he said it, everything he wrote it down, all the things, the things which we started with when you were talking, Dr. Susan, and you spoke about our differences in religion, the tribes which we have. How are we going to deal with those differences? Actually, all those things Dr. Kwame Nkrumah addressed them. Before he died, he wrote down about 20 books and pamphlets. So how to deal with the idea of, me being a Christian and Prince being a Muslim, we are working together. But he wrote already how to deal with that. You see, he wrote how to deal with that in a book called Conscientism. It is called Philosophical Conscientism. That philosophy is called Philosophical Conscientism. He wrote on how to deal with that issue. There is nothing really which he did not write out, about and how to deal with it. Actually, to remind you, the Americans, they did a study on Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in 2000. And when they did the study, they said the man was 50 years ahead of the people he was leading because of the way he was thinking. His thought pattern was 50 years ahead of the people he was leading. So this is the kind of man we are celebrating today. This is the type of personality we are celebrating. But like what Professor Lumumba said yesterday during his eulogy and during his speech concerning Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, we had PLO Lumumba yesterday. He said the best gift we can give to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah today is to actualize his wish, is to fight and realize his dream. What did he want Africa to look like? That is the best gift we can give to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I thank you very much, Dr. Susan. For now, I think I'll continue from there.
Thank you so very much. I mean, it has been very elaborate and educative. Yes. Prince, I'm coming back to you. You already, the celebration conference was launched yesterday, and I saw, I mean, pretty thousands of people watching worldwide. And what was your impression about that? You were sitting in the panel.
I was really very impressed.
Yes.
Especially, you wouldn't believe that even at the end of the time that we programmed the first conference to end, people were still willing and stayed up with Comrade King Mapanga Joshua for an hour, extra hour.
Yes.
You wouldn't believe that. It was late. Here in the United Arab Emirates, it was midnight. In most part of Africa, it was already after 9 p.m. So you could imagine people were still willing, after sitting for 2 hours, to continue sitting.
Yes.
Of course, that's how do I want to say, that's the awakening. You've been here on the Pan-African Daily. We've done shows for 4 or 5 hours, isn't it? And nobody wants to leave. What you see the need and the readiness and the hunger that the Africans are ready to take forward. What do you think that actually from the conversation, what are the key things that you picked out from what Prof said yesterday?
There were a lot of key things that we had to take home, but the most important ones, the first one that Professor Pierre Lumumba said was what? It is time for action.
Yes.
It's time for action.
Yes.
This doesn't mean we are not going to talk, because we still have people who are not yet aware of what is happening. So talking will be going on, but we have to do it with action. That is it. It's time for action. And the young people, especially, are called upon to come. Secondly, we need to state our demands in the various capitals. Not today, you see problem in Cameroon, and then tomorrow in Nigeria, the next day in Ghana, the other day in South Africa. No, we have to tell the leaders, enough is enough. And we don't have to do it separately. We have to do it on the same day all over the continent.
Yes.
No violence, firmness, consistency. That is it. In a tactical way, we have to get our message across. Enough. I'll tell you, here in the United Arab Emirates, you have so many of our comrades here. Many of them actually do not want to be here.
Yes.
Yes. But because of the situation back home, they have to be here. So they are tired because we have more than enough to help other people. But unfortunately, we are unable to help ourselves. That is the thing. It's so sad. So when Comrade Maponga said, we have to work on this, the mind. He drilled us. He did not want us to be like the coconut, where it is brown outside and white inside. So even if we have our comrades in the diaspora coming back, we have to do things in an Afrocentric way. We have seen how African knowledge, authentic African knowledge, have done things better than what many people have been trying to propose to us.
Yes.
We saw how many cases, trials took place in Uganda, in Rwanda within a short period of time. How many trials? We saw the productivity using the traditional African irrigation method in agriculture in Niger Republic. So indigenous African knowledge is very important. And then we had one of the comrades, Comrade Jonas, who talked about the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Yes, this is a topic that many people are still to really grapple with, because they don't know what we are producing to have this. And they think that some people out of the continent will be the one to benefit from this free trade area. But there's some proponents like us, we think that even if that institution has some shortcomings, it is our duty to fix it, not to discard it, because it has come to stay. We should fix it because it is a form of integrating Africa. But then how do we take advantage of what we have to get what we want or what we need? It is by working to fix it, by educating people to know where it is not working for us, for the people to demand change. You see, so these were some of the key points that we had yesterday. And I'll tell you that the next two conferences that will be coming, there'll be a lot of fireworks, because the speakers, which you are one of them, will be amazing. It is, if you missed yesterday, go on Facebook and listen to what was discussed yesterday. The participants were engaging. You wouldn't believe that even our famous Professor Pierre Lumumba sat with us for more than 1 hour, 30 minutes, because the participants were engaging. So he was willing to answer our questions, and we were really impressed. We were motivated. They made the spirit of Pan-Africanism in us increase. It was a marvelous day yesterday. Thank you.
Congratulations, really. I mean, I also was live on the full conversation. I also saw our brother Leo Wright. Leo Wright was there from the beginning to the end, pumping hard and congratulating and saying I share at every minute. I'm telling Leo, you are just one of the best. I mean, I follow you everywhere. On every conversation, you're always there. Thank you so very much for that spirit, brother. You're doing a marvelous job out there. I mean, just even being there and sharing, you know, this heart and these emotions and congratulating and supporting even financially when you're there. I mean, it's one of the biggest things. I know you're watching me, and I want to thank you and also for having you here. So back to studio. I want us to dwell on actually this facts of what you said. You said something, and I'll be referring. Any of you can answer that. We've heard this, like you said, the comment that Prof said, oh, you know, it's time for action. How many times are we going to hear it is time for action? We say we talk, and we say we should mobilize. Oh, we should unanimously strike. We should. These are all theories. Now, how are we going to transform this talk into action? In every community, you have the practical, you have the theory. For right now, it's just been theory. And that's why people look at us as we just talk. Now, Kwame, I get back to you. How do you think we are going to put this thought into action? Just give me one simple example.
Please, 1 minute before Comrade Kwame will come in, I forgot something very important.
Go ahead.
Prof also told us that it was time for another Congress of Pan-Africanists. Yes, this is something that we had also been discussing and thinking about in Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute. Yes.
All right.
So it was just a coincidence that he brought up that idea. So it's something that almost everybody is seeing. Thank you, Kwame. You can continue.
No. Before you continue, Kwame, it is already there. The problem is we are not connected. How many times have we have these guys from the US with this palm movement. I think the Pan-African Forum for what Nkwame, you're even a part or something like that. How many times have we had them here, and they're planning this Pan-African Congress in Ghana next year, from what I know?
Yes.
We are not
Yes.
connected. We keep saying the same things that are already existing. So to even say we need to have it, it should have been like, we should already start mobilizing and saying we are meeting in Ghana this day. What is the problem, Kwame?
I think, Dr. Susan, you really don't need to be disappointed.
I'm not.
Let's look at it. Let's look at it this way. You know, for history to happen, it is a collection of events. Okay, certain events come together. Then there is certain people who notice those events, and then history. They take advantage of those events and they take certain steps, and then they make history. That is when I will take you back, for example, to the year 1791. I know we the Africans, we have a problem that because of the too much brainwashing that has been done to us by the Western world, there is this tendency to want to discard history. Even our history, which is just as recent as 30 years, we want to discard it. But when we talk to a Chinese, when you are speaking to a Chinese man or a Chinese person for example, in any position in government, he will tell you that you can't comment about China unless you know China about 3,000 years ago. They will tell you that straight. They will tell you that China has 3,000 years of history. So you have to understand these 3,000 years of history. So he will shut you down from there. But we have this tendency of we Africans to try to discard our history. Like when we talk about Africa, what we are trying to do in Africa, what we are trying to do to rebuild Africa, we are trying to revive a civilizational state. We are trying to revive a 5,000-year civilization. Okay, the Egyptian civilization alone, it ruled for more than 5,000 uninterrupted. Okay, so
Kwame, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I just want, you haven't answered the question.
Yes, I'm coming. Dr. Susan, give me some time. I'm trying to build my case. I'm trying to answer your question, but I'm building my case slowly by slowly. Now, I'm going back to the year 1791. In the year 1791, there is events which happened there. And two Salovacha in San Domingo, which is present-day Haiti, took advantage, both of them and Desalegn. In the year 1791, there was a contestation between Britain and France. And this contestation was for economic supremacy, like what you are seeing today between China and the United States. There's a contestation for supremacy, because China is trying to overtake the United States as an economic power. Now, in the year 1791, France was trying to overtake Britain as an economic superpower. But before the year 1791, the United States, as we see today, had just got independence in 1776. And the United States was a colony to Britain. Okay, so Britain had lost the United States as a colony. So Britain was sort of going down economically. So France was pumping up, and trying to overtake Britain. So they started clashing and fighting. So Toussaint Louverture and Desalegn in Haiti, they saw an opportunity there because these guys were warring. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you is that there is certain events which come together, and certain people, they notice these events and then they start agitating. But this agitation, it does not take 1 year. That is why I say that, Dr. Susan, do not be disappointed, because there is certain events which are coming together today, and the people are being brought together, slowly. There is certain people who are seeing things going on. And that is why you see this organization, this conference which happened yesterday is very, very important. Now, I will send you back to 1791. 1791, when did Haiti get independence? Haiti got independence in 1804, after 13 years of agitation, 13 years of struggle, because they had to fight France and defeat it. the Haitians, and they defeated Britain because Britain wanted to come and colonize, enslave them back after defeating France. Spain also wanted to come and colonize them again. They defeated the three of them in a battle. Now, let us come to 1947. What were the events around 1945 in Manchester? 1945, we have the Manchester Conference. I'm going to draw events for you so that you can understand the things which are going on today.
No. Wait. I think that would get us out of the conversation. Let's keep the conversation. Maybe no. Wait. You might come back to analyze that. The simple question I asked.
Yes.
When Prince is said about the fact that Prof said we need to get a Pan-African Congress, and I said, of course, there is already a Pan-African Congress being organized in Ghana.
Yes.
So a next step would be like, is it just because we ignore one another, or we don't pay attention because it's not my idea, or because I really don't want to know? Then it has to be my idea. It has to be Nkwame's idea. It has to be Prince's idea. It has to be Susan's idea. What is it that we don't pay attention to now? There is already a Pan-African Congress that would be held in Ghana. And this organization is mobilizing all the time. They've been on the platform here twice. So it is a means for me just giving that information to know that, yes, like Prince said, it's very important. We have to hold that Congress. I also have information from Sudan. Dr. Tony Jaja was also saying, oh, we are meeting in Ghana for that Pan-African Congress. So we already have it, isn't it?
Yes. So what actually those conferences are for? Those conferences, like what I was trying to point out for you, in the Manchester Conference, 1945 that happened, is for those conferences. The purpose of those conferences is for identifying certain individuals with certain abilities who are going to do certain things. That is the purpose of those conferences. Now, when you look at the conference which happened yesterday, actually, for me, I see the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute as an organization which is going to play a very pivotal role in bringing people together. The people who are going to do different things. We have, for example, now the Rapid Africa Plan. Okay, we have the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute. We have PLO Lumumba. We have you. We have all these figures. Now, one of the things, when I spoke to, one of the first things which PLO Lumumba told me when I first spoke to him was coordination. We are lacking coordination. Okay, we need to coordinate. Okay, so these individuals who are coming together now, who are converging, the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute has helped individuals who are very concerned about Africa to converge in one place and start discussing, because everything starts with a discussion. But before that discussion, you will have different individuals in different areas. But the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute, its advantage is that it has been able to pull some of the best from different organizations and pull them together. You see, and this is where we are going. But like I said, this is not a one-day, festival, or is not a 1-year festival. It's a revolution to change power. It takes time. It takes like maybe 10 years. People are struggling. People are brainstorming. What strategy should we use? Positive action. If we go to Dr. Martin Luther King, for example, he would say bus boycott. From bus boycotting, let us go to marching. Now we have to march on the streets. Now from marching on the streets, we are going to picket. We'll picket at Washington. And when he tried to picket at Washington, they killed him. They thought that this was very dangerous because people will get whatever. So this is what we are trying to do now. That is what the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute is trying to do. It's trying to organize all these resources which you have, individuals and their plans, and then pooling them together so that we can get a way forward. So that is what we are trying to do at the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute.
If you don't mind, Dr. Susan, may I
go ahead? Go ahead.
I think with reference to your question, the issue here is lack of coordination That is one. And then secondly, you have people who think they can do everything without identifying the strength of each and every one,
Yes.
and then working in a synergy to come out something. You see, okay, if Prof is talking about something like that, it means that maybe he's not aware of what is happening. And how can that be possible? You see, so we have to know where each and every one of us is.
Yes.
That's our strength. You are good in the media, mobilizing people. There is no need for us to go and be looking for another media house where we can support, put the resources about our media under the Pan-African Daily TV and move on. This organization is good at investment, in creating, bringing people through sports. Then we go there and support them to bring people through sports. So we should know our various strengths and then use those strengths, come together to organize whatever we want to do. I think the problem is coordination and lack of identifying the strength.
Yeah. So, Dr. Susan, actually, I think we are doing the right thing. I think we are on the right track. I can confidently say that we are on the right track. We don't really need to be disappointed. We just need to be a little patient with ourselves so that we can push. But it doesn't mean that we should relax. Okay, we should put ourselves under tension. If you see what happened with the events of the Manchester 1945, 1947, Nkrumah comes back to Ghana. That is after 2 years. That is after the conference. And when did Ghana achieve independence? 1957. That is after 10 years. Okay, but he was agitating. You know, people were agitating. So, but there were events around that. You know, that conference which occurred in 1945. There was this. World War had just finished. European countries were powerless, and they were collapsing and all that. Their economies were going down, and we see these events even today, starting the year 2020, because I think that the countdown started the year 2020. You can see the coronavirus, what it has done to the Western world, that it brought some sort of confidence in the African people. You can see the events in Afghanistan and all this organization, Brexit and all these things. These are significant. These events are significant of something that is happening. So that is why you see that there's a new awakening within the African world. You can see that the Africans across the Atlantic and the Africans on the continent are trying to hold hands. They are trying to have these conversations, you see. So events are happening, things are happening, things are going on. That is why you see that the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute has already jumped on board, and other organizations now are being pulled together. You look at the list, just look at the list which the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute put together. It's one of the finest, some of the finest mobilizers on the continent. They are on that list. If you are talking about Dr. Susan, if you're talking about Piero Lumumba, if you're talking about Julius Malema, okay, if you are talking about Samia Nkrumah, who is the daughter of
King
Kwame
Maponga, Joshua,
Joshua Maponga, who was there yesterday.
All parts.
So
yes, all parts of the continent.
This is not a normal conference. So something is happening, and we are moving, forward.
Congratulations,
Dr. Susan.
Congratulations. We all hear, the viewers are hearing, everybody is understanding what we're saying. If these are really the times, what is stopping us? We can get the best brains. We always had the best brains. We're not lacking in best brains. I want to go back to Prince. The issue you said is a lack of coordination. But before that, Kwame, you said something. I really was not sure if I really got what you said to say. Do you want to say, or do you mean that it is the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute that must bring that together?
What I said is that certain organizations look at events which are happening And the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute right now is in that position. And just look at the work. Let us pull out the flyer. Let us pull out the flyer of the people.
Of what?
The flyer which has the people, the bill which has the people it has brought together.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
That is no. I think we're talking two different things here, Kwame. I'm just thinking of, we have to identify the thing that, like you said, all the books that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah wrote, all the books that our ancestors, all the literature, even the ones that are still alive today.
Yes.
So we don't need to do anything more.
Yes.
Need to just take all of them and build together. And the question of a Pan-African Congress, there is a Pan-African Congress that is already been in planning since 3 years. It was stopped because of the coronavirus, and Professor Pierre Lumumba is aware of it.
Yes.
Maybe not in the sense of what it was, but it was because of the COVID that conference was suspended. It has been said a couple of times here on the Pan-African Day. I will still go back to that review and for us to rewatch it again. So the way forward is, it is existing already. But then, of course, and I know Dr. Nkwame Ideological Institute is aware also of that. But probably what Prof meant yesterday, like he was saying, we need to push this agenda forward. We need to act it now. It has been there. It has been sleeping. It's not that they have to bring all those minds. The Dr. Nkwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute is just one. We have the ADI, we have the FAM, we have the State 55, we have all these institutions. We have even the Pan-African Parliament on the continent. We have millions, but the problem is, what is stopping us to just hold one, Prince?
So what I was saying, Dr. Susan, is that, like what I said before, that in my first conversation with with Pierre Lumumba, Pierre Lumumba said that coordination is what has been lacking. And personally, I feel that the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute has put itself in that position, and it has very well all the tools to play that part. It is in a very good position to play the part of coordinating these organizations, which are moving in different organizations with different ideas. So I think the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute is trying to synchronize, all the plans. Look at the plans. Everyone, let everyone come with their plans, and let us look at them and then agree on where to move. Because even if we have a Pan-African Congress, but we don't agree on where to move, which direction to go, because we are in a different era. We are dealing with neo-colonialism, remember? We are dealing with the enemy within. So how do we deal with these people? So something has to be agreed on. And one of those things is what Prince said, that Pierre Lumumba said, if it needs for us to come with some demands and picket at parliaments all over the continent, then we should agree on that. So the purpose of the conference is to agree on what is to be done. So once we sit down in a conference, or once the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute brings people together and they sit down, then what is going to be done is going to be agreed on. And this is the time. The time is not in the future, is not, he talked about consistency. Once we agree on what is going to be done, then we start monitoring the consistency. How consistent are we going to be? Because like we said, the change of power, like I showed you in Haiti, it took 13 years. In Ghana, from colonialism to Ghana gaining independence, it took around 12 years from 1945 to 1957. So even now, I believe that by around the year 2033, from now up to 2033, if we do certain things consistently, which we have agreed on as Pan-Africanists, do we want unity? We want a united Africa now. Then we make that demand. We make it clear all over the continent. Then we picket over on the parliaments, all the presidential palaces all over the continent. Then it will be done. So that is what we are trying to do now. Thank you very much, Dr. Susan.
Thank you very much. Prince, so when are we going to see the action coming from the Dr. Nkwame Ideological Institute to say, all right, this conference has been planned, we are mobilizing, reaching out to people? When do you think that action is going to take place?
I think it is not just going to be the work of Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute.
Exactly. That's also what I think. But I'm just
Yes.
I'm giving you back the question from Kwame.
Yes, we are going to work with other various organizations, which we are already doing. Because if you look at our United States of Africa Steering Committee, we have leadership from Africa 55, we have leadership from ADDI, we have leadership from many, Global African Congress, we have leadership from All African People Revolutionary Party. So we have this organization there. But about the Congress, we have to all work together to put it, because it is not one person, but then there can be a better organization than the African of the millennia, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. That name evokes a lot of spirit and a lot of what he has written about what is happening to us now. And because when you look at African Agenda 2063, it's exactly what Nkrumah said in 1963. Yes, almost the same. So
Yes.
this Nkrumahis have studied what Nkrumah had been proposing, everything. So they stand a chance to discuss with fellow Pan-Africanists, fellow Pan-African organization, to chart the way forward for African unity, for African High Command. But then we, just like King Mapongo said yesterday, we have to be ready to sponsor, because sponsorship is one of the things. Yes. Do we have any satellite? A few months ago, there was a project on that, but how did 1.4 billion Africans reacted to that? 1.4 billion. We don't want much, $1 each. Okay, let's say 800 million people, just $1 each. How much are we going to raise? What can stop us to get anything that we want? So we have to coordinate. Yes.
I hear. And I think the audience is here. And we've heard this 1 million times over. You just gave a very good example, 1.4 billion Africans. The thing is, you have to think, how do I reach to them to even make them know that they are supposed to give you $1? It's a whole logistic and work that is involved. It takes a whole, even the whole of the mainstream media, they don't cover the world in their environment, because people are focused and they have different targets. So it sometimes looks as if it's a joke. It sometimes looks as if, even though we dream big, but for us to be realistic to the steps that we need to take, we keep turning around, saying the same thing, but nothing is happening. So my question would be next. There was a topic or also a proposal that said it will be necessary for us to do a collective strike. How do we want to implement that?
Okay, Prince. How do we are going to, it's through mobilization.
How?
And one is that all the various organizations should agree on what we want to protest against, which we all know, but do we agree on that? That is one thing. And if we come together, these are some of the things that this organization, if we come together and we agree on it, then we can then design a strategy on how to inform the people, and then how do we move it forward from there? So organization, coordination, agreeing on what we want to do. That is the thing. Because we have seen how people mobilize. And then you have concurrent strikes in South America, in Africa, in Europe, America, Asia, happening. We can do it. Yes. I think that from now until the end of the year, we should be able to say that we have something that from the year 2022 we'll start implementing. That is what I think. So this last few months, less than 3 months before the end of the year, should be the time that we all have to put hands and heads on deck and try to get a very mature, a smart strategy to get all these things happen by the year 2022. Yes, Kwame, if you have something to add, you may come in.
Yes. I also just that's the same thing which I wanted to say, Dr. Susan. I do really understand, Dr. Susan, where you are coming from, and if you love this continent, honestly, with all your passion, with everything you have, and you love your people, you are going to be impatient. If you go back and examine, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's speeches and how he was speaking. This is somebody who was very passionate about the continent, but the impatience, they used to call him that he's an impatient man. He would speak with a lot of impatience, a lot of urgency. So when you speak like that, Dr. Susan, and say, when are things going to happen? When are things starting to happen? When is the action? I really do understand what you are saying. And I feel, your spirit, but everything, goes back to coordination, like what Prince said. If we do not coordinate, then we will all start acting and running in different directions. Okay, so even now, as I tell you, some people are acting, but because people are acting on different things, then now all of us are running in different directions. There's a lot of people who are doing, other people are working on economics, other people are working on education, other people are saying, no, let us push the presidents out so that we can bring a new plan. Other people are working on a Rapid Africa plan. So now we are in a situation whereby there's action, but that action is not coordinated. So that means it's not effective. So what is happening is that coordination, like what PLO member said, and the organization, once we bring ourselves together, we bring these all organizations, and then we sit down together, and then we say, what plan do you have? What plan do you have? This one has a plan. This one has a plan. Some of us have looked at a couple of plans, because like me, I've been to a couple of Pan-African organizations. So me, I can give you my idea that this is what I would like to see. This is the plan which I would like to see from this organization, put in this organization, like this one working this way. But Prince may disagree and say, no, this one is supposed to work like this. So that means we have to sit down and reconcile ourselves and say, okay, now let's agree on this and let's move forward with this. So that is all I can say, Dr. Susan, for now.
Thank you very much. Yes, time doesn't wait for anyone. When we keep saying patience, is China patient on the continent? Is the West patient? But how long are we going to sit and say, yeah, we have to exercise patience? I'm not patient. We have to be practical. We have to look at the things that we can say and stop lying to ourselves. At some point, it looks like we are just a joke. And then coming back to all this organization, I've been sitting here for the past 1 year. I've interviewed most of those organizations. Most of the organizations are doing the same thing. What kind of insanity is this? Tell me a structure that is different from the other. We take the same agenda. Somebody just sees somebody doing anything. Oh, I can also form an organization and do it. And they're doing the same thing. We keep turning the same thing like that. Like, like you said, it is as if it is some kind of insanity that we're spinning and spinning.
Yes, it's kind of wasting resources, because the same resources is put in the same thing, which would have been directed to other things. We we have to coordinate to know the strength of each and every organization. This is very important.
Yes.
Or else, because you see, okay, you have the Pan-African Daily TV, you hear somewhere again, you have African Daily TV, you have some Akembulan TV. What is all this? What is all this? So that is the problem. It's true what you have said. So, but if we come, because we discover this and we want to try to bring, because actually it's what most Africans want. They want to see a central coordination.
Yes.
A loose one or whatever. They want to see this coordination that is taking place somewhere. Would I call it even a shadow government? Yes, there are people who are up that level.
Like the Taliban. Like the Taliban, they have been fighting, and yes, they already had a shadow government, and they have been fighting.
Shadow government. Yes, the one that when things are happening in the continent, they want Africans to be talking. Okay, these presidents are comfortable with their small states, but Africans want a giant state. So we should have that central coordination that is taking care of Africans from whatever corner you come from.
Absolutely correct. I think the way forward and the way all of us are going to they're proposing is, like we say, it is time, and time waits for no one. We already have it. Just like we say, we have the historians, we have the creators. There is nothing that we can create on this planet anymore. The only thing that we need to create is the magic of working together. And that magic of working together is what? So nobody's going to own the monopoly of I do it all. Like you said from the beginning,
yes,
Prof has been saying it from the beginning. All of us have been saying it from the beginning. Every speaker that we've talked to have been saying it in the beginning until now. So I think the challenge that we have now is just getting a board that all the speakers with all their networks are sitting there. And it is not the responsibility of one, because what I see among us is when one does it, the other one, it should have been me doing it. Why is it? So no, it has been Dr. Kwame Nkrumah because he wrote. What about the Marcus Garvey? What about the Sekou? What about the Anta-Diop? These are all institutions that all came together. What about the Professor Obenga Theophile? When we watched the interview with Dr. Jeffries, and he told exactly all this. What about the Haile Selassie movement? They are thousands of millions of movements. How do we bridge this movements together in just an umbrella that we sit now and said, okay, we all belong here if I need it? That's why we keep saying the same thing, but we already have it. Do you also have that impression? It is time. This action means we already have it. We don't need to create anything new.
Dr. Susan, first of all, I do agree with everything, with everything you say. But what I would like us to first do is I would like us to celebrate the idea that the Africans have woken up.
Of course, we are.
Once you see people have started talking, have started demanding, this is the genesis of of a revolution or some kind of revolution, because people now have started realizing that there's something wrong. And first of all, I would like to appreciate PLO Lumumba, because PLO Lumumba has injected, some kind of urgency, with his speeches. He has wakened a lot of people up from slumber by, putting some light, showing the people the state of the continent, where the continent is. And the other events, all of them. So I think we need to celebrate the idea that the people have woken up. But the coordination, that one is going to be done, and it is being done. That one, I can assure you that by the time we come back here as the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute, we will give you results that this is what has been done. We will give you that because we have seen the organizations. We have been to those organizations. Me and Prince, we communicate almost every day. We have seen organizations and whatever they have, whatever plans. So we will continue also to reach out to others. What I was saying is not that the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute, will do the work alone. That's not what I was saying. I want you to get me clearly. I was saying that the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute is in a position to reach out because of the leverage it has as the custodian of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's ideas. So it has that leverage to be able to reach out to other organizations and speak to them and say, this was the dream of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. This is what you are working on. Can you come and let's work together? Can you come and let us look at what you have? And then we will show you what also we have. Let us look at what you have. We will show you what we have. And then we have also another member is here sitting on the side. He has something. Come on, let us sit together and let us find something. Let us synchronize this. Let us reconcile our plans and find where to move forward. And I think the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute is in a very, very good position to be able to do that. So that is what I was alluding to. But it was not that it can do all the work alone. We have to.
I understood. I'm so sorry, Nkwame. I understood exactly that, because the one point and the essence is the connectivity.
Yes.
All right. And when you told me that, just look at the placard and the people, I didn't see any Professor James Small on it. I didn't see Dr. Jeffries on it. I didn't see any of the voices in the diaspora on it.
Yes.
That is the fact that I'm saying. When we talk about being realistic and connecting,
yes.
All right. Of course, I know the agenda because I'm part of that agenda. I know that this one was made for the continental celebration. It doesn't mean that it's not connecting. But I just want to make a point clear that if we say we want to work on a strategic way forward, and we say we are, because we own the legacy too, we want to see that connection. You're going to, we are on the right, on the path on the continent to do the same mistakes that we keep complaining about. We don't integrate our diaspora. Let's stop it. I have to be very serious on this.
Yes, that is very serious.
We don't integrate the diaspora. And we are going to make the same mistake we've been making for years. Because without that integration, that's where we are today. And that's why I was saying it's not a matter of owning a knowledge to something. It is a matter of saying when we are reaching out, even to say to coordinate, we have to have that capacity to know that this institution is in the middle point to connect, to mediate, to bring both, and not just to see what is on my neck. Of course, I know if you're sitting in Ghana, Kwame, you see continental. You're sitting in UAE, you see continental. Those in the diaspora also see just the diaspora. But the challenge of us all is how do we mingle? How do we get this middle point? So I would want to see, or I would wish, or how I wish to see, even if it is the Nkwame ideology, who are the people sitting even on that committee? They have to be cosmos of something. There are a lot of organizations out there that are African-American organizations in Ghana that was orchestrated, or in Tanzania, or in Rwanda, or in every other place in the diaspora. Because I've been interviewing all of them, it is a powerful network until all this network we get together so that the communication can be easy, so that we can reach out to the 1.4 that we're talking about. No single structure is going to do it until we get this coordination and these organizations on board on a structure to see and communicate. Do you agree? Or am I making sense?
Dr. You see, like Kwame was saying, we have a very good relationship with Marcus Garvey's foundation. You see, almost everything that we do, we have a discussion with them, which is a way that we want to take to get into the diaspora, because we cannot leave our diaspora out there. We cannot say we are more African than them or whatever. No, we have to work together because the African in them is there. Yes.
Wait, Prince, hold on. Do you believe, I know the ideologies of the Institute, and they are on the values of Nkwame. We bring all Africans together under this one Africa agenda. Perfect. The wish of every other organization. But is it possible that the Nkwame Institute focus on a particular sector, while the UNAI focus on a particular structure. The ADDI focus, for instance, if we look at Maponga, we know that is, if we had to do ministers, that's the culture minister. If we look at PLO, that is the minister or the president for leadership and political, for politics. If we looked at the economic sector, then we know the ADDI is for the economic sector. If we look at the vision, then we look at the Kwame and Nkrumah ideological sector. Could we put these things like that and stop mingling?
Dr. Susan, that is the magic. If
what
we
is
can
magic?
know this, yes, it is the magic. If we identify this, if everybody agree to this division of labor, that we work collaboratively. Your strength, you are there. That is what is the game changer. Yes, is the game changer. You don't expect Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute to be talking on investment. No,
it doesn't work.
We are on the ideology.
I think the ideology, where I see, I'm just giving it from my own point, where I see the Kwame Nkrumah Institute, is the institute that should gather the Professor James Small, the historians and the knowledge, this epitomes, the literature and everything, and they begin to change the curriculum of the educational systems to implement this vision first.
Dr. Souza, we'll come another day to show you our plan of action. We have that already. Yes, that plan of action is going to be implemented either from by the end of this year or from the beginning of next year. We have that covered. That is why we're talking about this ideology. We want other organizations to come together. Let's see and identify the strength of each and every one, and they do it. King Maponga was very frank yesterday. He told us, I am not for anything except for culture. And that is why I have I work to try to document or to archive African cultural heritage. Yes, that is it. So
absolutely,
that is his strength. We have to, nobody should go and copy, oh, King Maponga is doing it, I can also do it. It's just waste of resources. If you are interested in that, channel your resources to King Maponga. And then many people will benefit from what he's doing. But we should have that coordination. That coordination must be there.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The element.
Yes. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah. Hey, to be honest with you, I must really congratulate you. You know why? I mean, I put you on a hot chair, some kind, like, but exactly. This is no. To be honest, but I congratulate your efforts, like the young generation. Even as a matter of fact, picking these things in the hand and saying, "This is how we want to do it." Put a conference like that together with top great speakers that are actually commemorating. So this is actually a gateway for us to even start smelling what the Nkwame Institute, Ideological Institute is all about, which I truly, truly believe, and I congratulate you for that. That is the basic. If all of us are settling in Ghana, we're going to sit at that place. There's no doubt about it. Now, let's go on. What are we expecting to see in the coming days? And when is it the next conversations coming up? Who are the speakers? What are they going to be talking about? And how do people register?
Okay. It is like the first one, which is through the Zoom. And then
do we have a link?
Yes, the link is out there already, but we'll start sharing it again because at the beginning we share all the 3 links. So some people might be confused, but now what we are doing is we are sharing the link for the second conference. And the arrangement we did was to have a kind of a general policy introduction at the first conference. Then the second conference was going to be more about unity. Yes.
Okay.
What people can do, how we can do, like we'll have somebody to talk about uniting us through sports, especially football. That is kind of something that the continent is very good at. We'll talk about using arts and culture to unite the people. We talk about, we have a deputy minister from South Africa who is going to talk about how the government, how we can get the government to help in actualizing this United States of Africa, or what name, the union government. And that is how the second conference is going to look like. Then the last conference, the third conference that is coming on the 21st, the actual day of the Osage for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's Earthday, that's a birthday. We have a lot of things about him, like his philosophy, the African personality, because he embodies the unity of Africa. So we decide to put the unification of Pan-African organizations on that day, because this is very paramount. The unification, the collaboration, the coordination between the Pan-African organization on that day itself, because that is what he did in 1963 when he spoke to his colleagues, asking them, we should do it now. So it is the time for us to have it now. So on the 21st, we hitting on what Dr. Kwame Nkrumah told us, what kind of philosophy, what democracy is something that almost all Africans have come to agree that it doesn't work for us. It's not working anywhere. If we want to say that, why is it that the UK is having something different from the Germans, the Americans, the French, but they tell us it's democracy. But then when we come to our own, they say, no, it must be like this. It must be like that. So we have come to realize most Asians already saw it, and they decided to pivot to whatever style that suit their own realities. So in Africa, Nkrumah had already given us. We were not looking to the east, nor to the west. We were looking forward. That is the African ideology, forward. So on that day, because many people are not aware of what Dr. Kwame Nkrumah talked about, the kind of philosophy, the personality of an African. That is something that people will have to learn about our scientific, because our approach, our way is a scientific way, practical, pragmatic. That is us. So that is how the conference number 2 and conference number 3 is going to look like. So people should come, register.
Thank you very much.
And then I'm sure that my comrades have something to add to it, because we work collaboratively.
Of course, I wanted to ask him, who are the speakers that will be speaking on these 2 conferences, Kwame? What will be the topic address?
Yes, so we have a lot of exciting speakers right now lined up. We have Dr. Susan herself of Pan-African Daily TV. She'll be there. We have Samia Nkrumah, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's daughter, who was a member of parliament recently. We have another minister from the names. I think Prince can mention them very well. I'm not very well versed with the name, but we have a minister from South Africa also is going to be
Honorable Dr. Nabule Nkambane.
Yes.
We have our comrade from Burkina Faso. He is in charge of Thomas Sankara's heritage. That is, he'll be talking on bridging the divide between French language and English language speaking Pan-Africanists, because that is the thing. Even the Francophone Africans have noticed that they are the ones pulling the continent backward. Yes. So it is something that we have to bridge that divide if we have to move forward as a nation. Then we have Comrade Jude Nyaka that is going to talk about the key to Africa's prosperity, because we cannot talk about moving to the next level when people are not empowered economically, people are not prosper. Because when you look at China, how many millions of people did China move from poverty to riches. Yes, not just having enough, but becoming very wealthy. Then we have Comrade Mahlet Ayele, who will be talking about enticing the youth to get involved, especially youth in the Maghreb. Then we have the immediate past AU Youth Commissioner, Comrade Aya Chebi, who is also invited to talk. We have Advocate Sarfo Abebrese, which is talking about uniting Africa through sports. Then, as I said, on the 21st, we are going to talk about the legend himself. And the legend will be handled by no other person than the chairman of Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute, that is Honorable Amoso. Then we have the scientific socialism, which is the system for Africa, that will be handled by no other person than our executive director, that is Dr. Anyagri, Benjamin Anyagri. Then this fantasy that some Africans think and like to talk about, calling for Western nations to sanction African countries, we have no other person than our comrade Rutendo, who is going to talk about how sanctions affect ordinary people. Because the normalize is that the sanction is going to affect only the government, is going to affect only the ministers, but our comrade who has been dwelling on this issue will tell us more and enlighten us on how these sanctions do not even affect many of these ministers or the president, but affecting ordinary people. And then we have Comrade Faisal, who will be talking about uniting Africa through culture and heritage. And then we have one of our comrades from the diaspora, that is Comrade Maxim Davis of Global African Congress, which will be talking about getting the diaspora involved in African affairs. We always castigate China, the West, for taking contracts in Africa or getting involved in African affairs. What are our diaspora? For example, the African Americans with this purchasing power of $1 trillion, what are they doing? Why? Why should the mining corporations in gold corporations in Ghana be handled by foreigners, not Africans? And then uniting Pan-African organizations, which we all agree the time is now, will be handled by no other person than our own comrade, Dr. Susan Tata. So this is the lineup. You can see that these are great speakers to inspire us. These are proven people who have been there on the field. So if you please take a date and be with us on these 2 days, the 17th of September and the 21st of September. On the 17th, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. But I'm sure that most people want it extended to 7 p.m. Ghana time. So please don't be confused about the time. And then on the 21st, it is from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So you are all invited. It is our day. There's nothing that is our personality of the century. We have to celebrate him because he is living with us, although he is dead. His ideas are there. That is what we want to achieve. So thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Is there any idea on when Honorable Julius Malema would be speaking, because he's on the flyer?
Yes, Honorable Malema is supposed to speak on the 17th.
Tomorrow, does it?
17th is the day after tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes. That is the day he's supposed to speak.
Is it confirmed that he's going to speak?
The issue here is it is not actually confirmed because the South African municipal election is in one of these this maybe within this month. So if what the confirmation we have with them is they are interested, they want to participate on that day. If he's not having any rally, then he will be with us. Even for a few minutes, he will be with us. Yes. So we are with him. Yes.
Okay.
And we have already discussed about many projects to do together. Yes, in the nearest
All right.
future.
Yes. To be honest with you, it's a great program and it's a wonderful work that you guys are putting out there. It's just unfortunate because you're doing it in a kind of a Zoom thing. It would have been nice if we could stream it live
Yeah.
on the Pan African Daily. And they would have been reserving this 17th and that 25th actually for that issue to get our followers also get engaged in it. For those that might miss it, or will miss it. But please do everything possible to share that link with us so we can share with the followers. But then, what is it?
One minute, please. Dr. Susan,
Correct,
we
yeah.
can work on the technicality on how to stream it live.
Unfortunately, we already have programs that we plan tomorrow, the 17th, and up to Saturday. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. In the
Yeah,
future.
but we are going to, what we're going to do, we're going to restream. We're going to rebroadcast the conversations. Like I said, even the ones yesterday, the past ones, we're going to bring it to our followers and to engage in the conversation. So one last thing, before I open the lines to take some questions, if there are some. If not, I already see a couple of comments here, and I think you guys have also been seeing them in the chat room. One last thing, what is it that you think would happen after this conversation, after this conference? Give me one concrete action that you think would happen and should happen.
Yes, there will be some kind of central or loose command linking all the Pan-African organization into trying to chart the way forward.
Okay, thank you. One word that's very accurate. I want to thank you. Congratulations very, very much for your work. Was it just the two of you that planned this whole thing? Kwame, you're looking so tired as if you've been working for the past 6 months.
No.
How many of you engage in this whole massive plan and work that you put out there? And how long has it taken you to work in it?
Oh, Dr. Susan, the organization is a very big organization with a lot of people who are working in the background. It's just that for us, we are working with the media. So that is why we are here. We are responsible for media and publicity, and the organizational work of trying to, put out this thing in the public. But there is a lot of other people in the background who are doing incredible work. So it's not only the two of us. We cannot put this together, only the two of us. It is not possible.
Yes. Since you've asked this question, I would like to give credit to the team that really worked so hard, that have been working since, I think, from the 1st of June, trying to put this together. It is scattered across the continent. We have Dr. Fury from South Africa. We have Dr. Alfred in Ghana, Brother Jonas Atingwe in Ghana. We have the Executive Director, Dr. Benjamin Anyagri, that has been having sleepless nights and so hardworking a man. And then we have Barrister Baka Enes from Cameroon. We have Pastor Ambe from Cameroon. We have
you have to stop there. The CIA.
No. I won't stop, Dr. Kwame.
The CIA we don't want to publish our people too much.
Yeah, you're right. But I must acknowledge some hardworking ladies. Comrade Anyim Tracy from UK, Tega from UK. Then we have our honorable moderators, Ms. Shamil Agosi from Botswana, and Sister Shanice of Shanice, Sister Shanice Show from UK.
Excellent job.
A lot of people working from the background.
Excellent.
I have our diplomatic coordinator, Comrade Dake from Ghana, and we have Nana Gimpo from Ghana as well. So it's a team that is all over the place.
Congratulations. Of course, I see the work could not have been something that is not recommendable. I really applaud you, and you see our viewers are giving all their support to you and say you guys are doing a very incredible job, and that you should keep up that spirit. Please do well to share the Zoom link with us, and particularly on the times. You
Yes,
say in Ghana time, we'll have to translate
I've
the all
sent
the
it to
time.
your WhatsApp. I've sent
All
the
right.
Zoom link to your WhatsApp already.
Yeah.
So maybe you can share it in the chat room so that people can register. You just need to go there and register. Then you'll get a confirmation email into your email box, and then that is where you get the link from, which connects you to the meeting when it starts.
That's very good. Yeah, Nkwame, how Ugandan in Ghana name Kwame? How?
When I came to Ghana, and I came, like I told you, in contact with with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's thinking and his ideology and his writings. So I decided to drop off the white man's name, and I replaced it with Kwame.
Beautiful.
So yeah, that is how I became I became Kwame Gwaza.
Thank
So
you
I
very
dropped,
much.
yes.
I would also ask a Prince. I mean, you Southern Cameroonian born like me, out there in the United African Emirates, and then connected to the Dr. Kwame Ideology Institute. How?
You know that if there is any African that is mentioned in Africa or in Asia, people will always talk of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. You know very well during our history lessons in the primary school, although we did not study anything about Cameroon itself, but we had to study certain things about Africa and Europe. So
Yes.
Kwame Nkrumah has always been there because we knew what he did. What did he say? He said that the Ghanaian independence will be meaningless if other Africans do not have their independence, which is true.
Yes.
Yes, which is true even up to today. So this is the kind of thing. If you look at the kind of industries, the plan he had for Ghana. Yes, the plan he had for Ghana. If you have just research and see the plan he had for Ghana.
Of course, we do know.
You see,
no, even the things he built, they are still there. People are using them. For example, he built an oil refinery. He built an oil refinery when Ghana has not discovered the oil in 1960.
So you can see.
So it's a lot of things, and it is not out of nowhere that his name has continued to flourish. It has continued
in
to come
Cameroon, if people know when it comes to independence, you know that when the UPC were fighting the French for Cameroon independence, many of them, when they were exiled, they were all in Ghana. So you see, so that history, when you talk about Cameroon independent fighters, Kwame Nkrumah will always be there because he gave them all the support. And this ideological institute, which one of the most famous students is Comrade Robert Mugabe, attended this ideological institute because that is where he wanted Africans to develop the ideology to develop Africa. Because when you look at China, you cannot be in the Chinese leadership without going to an ideological school.
Yes.
All right. Good. That is fantastic. It's actually fantastic. What I would give to you from the Pan-African Daily TV as an assignment that I think is practical and very, very okay. Take back to your organization. Question: is it possible to multiply this institute all over the continent? Even though he was a Ghanaian, born Ghanaian, arrested Ghanaian, doesn't mean that Dr. Kwame Institute should stay only in Ghana. So it should be an institute that is planted in the diaspora where our people are and upon all the continent. I don't want to get a response from you right now.
No. I just want to come in with one thing, because This is what we are doing. A chapter is already created in Cameroon and South Africa. So you see, so your idea, we are all saying.
Anyway, I'm saying so because in the next coming months, Pan African Daily TV is going to be all over the continent with its embassies and also in the diaspora. And so the appointments are already done, and so we'll be having a representative and an embassy in each country on the continent and in the diaspora. And the main purpose would be to actually put on the ground, in terms of our communication, take the resources on Earth, on each continent, analyze it from the historical point, from the cultural point, from the spiritual point, and then we bring it to a global platform, and we're building this network for one communication. So we expect that if we multiply all these things, and so all the others, if it is in terms of course, when I talk about culture and history and all that, you already know all the teachers that we've been having here are going to be the master teachers to actually assess information, research that information before we bring it out to the public. It's not just a pick, copy, and paste, or like when I say we do a poll about who Nkwame was, the Africans should be. And if I hear that a million, I laugh, because it's a 1.4 billion that should be saying it is a Nkwame that is getting that per excellence, and not just a handful, maybe people that we don't even know how he looks or how he smells like. You know what I mean? So
yes.
It is a wonderful applause to you out there. And yes, we are working. I hear you, Kwame. Like you said, it's not like something Rome. We just say Rome was not. We say the pyramid was not built in a day, and but we're seeing the pyramids all over to even show our footprints, even in Europe and in the Americas, to identify that the Black man, the African, was the first inhabitant of the universe, and that's the point. Putting this footprint everywhere we are makes a lot of sense. It doesn't matter how many people are organized in where. Institutes like this should be all over. All over. And one thing that I would like to see the Nkwame Institute do is to carry Swahili as the main language upon all this institute that is going to be connected on. But we keep in touch.
You take a look at our POA, plan of action.
Yes, Joshua Maponga spoke about it yesterday. Spoke about the Swahili thing yesterday, that we have to see how we can implement Swahili as a universal communication language in Africa. And the other thing, maybe I'd like to say, Dr. Susan, when you are putting the embassies of the Pan-African Daily TV, don't forget Morocco, Algeria, all those countries are African countries, because so sometimes people have a tendency
Wait a minute.
Even the white people want to call Egypt Middle East. You see, they want to call Morocco Middle East. They want to call Algeria Middle East. And these are things which we have to reject. They want to say that Africa stops in the sub-Saharan Africa and the other part is Middle East. So we have to reject this kind of thinking from.
Anyway, one thing that I saw is that we talk about enslaved people, and we have never talked about the Arab as the first enslaved people that started dealing with slave trade. I don't know why, for whatever reason, Africans have not been bold.
I think.
So hold on. So what we are doing with the Africa we're building, we're not going to impose it on people. If you don't love the motherland and you don't identify with the values of it, we are not going to say we have to integrate you. You have to integrate yourself. Yes. Remember, even Dr. Kwame said it. So getting a Pan-African Daily TV embassy in Morocco, I have to do that research to find if it's worth it. And if I see that zeal and how they are engaged, and not one foot out in the Mediterranean and one foot in the continent, that's not good enough. So we need to be serious on these things. It will gradually go when we start from steps to steps and doing the right things that we're supposed to do. We're not pleasing anybody anymore. It is time. They either jump or they are out. And anybody that is not in, you know what's going to happen. So, yes. So we are on the right track. I want to thank you guys so much for your hard work. Is there any round work that you want to give in? I start with you, Kwame. The last word that you wanna water our hearts, please. Water our hearts.
Yes. So what I just want to say is that the young people have to be on board, especially the youth, because in every generation it has been the youth. It is the energy of the youth that carries out the revolution. The work of the elders is to give us wisdom as we go forward to battle on the front. The elders are not going to go out there on the streets and demonstrate because they don't have that energy. So the young people have to come out and support in whatever way. There's different ways of supporting financially, or you present your time, your body. You know, when we are talking about now starting to organize picketing and demonstrations and stuff like that, you have to come out and present yourself if you want to build a new Africa for your people. So what we want to say is that we have the resources, everything we have it. We have the human resources. Africa has a literacy rate of around 63%, even more than that, more than 63%. We have enough resources in Africa. If you take stock, yesterday, one of the things Joshua Maponga was saying is that we should take stock of the resources which we have, the water, the land, everything, the air which we breathe. He spoke about everything, that we should take stock, and then we find out how much do we have in Africa. But when you take stock, our resources should be more than $700 trillion. That is a conservative estimate from me. So if we decide that we are going to build Africa within the next 30 years to a leading economy of set $90 trillion, this is possible. Because if we have more than $700 trillion in the ground, and I'll give you an example, just Zimbabwe alone, it has around 18 trillion in the ground. Congo alone, around $36 trillion. So if we have just chosen out 2 countries, we have not spoken about the other countries. So if we talk about building Africa to a leading economy in the next 30 years, of a leading economy to $90 trillion of GDP, this is very, very possible. Is visible. Now we have all this. We have the human, we have the material. What has been missing? It is the organization of these resources. And that is the task which we are trying to attempt right now. I remember there is Franz Fanon. He said that each generation must discover each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it. So the generation of Nkrumah, the generation of Julius Nyerere, the generation of Robert Sobukwe, the generation of Ben Ali, the generation of Abdul Gamal Nasser discovered their mission, and that was to bring us independence. And they gave it to us. So the generation in between there, we don't know what they did with the independence. Maybe they sold it out, which we all know. But this generation, it is our generation. It is our task now to put back the continent on track and rebuild it. It is our generation, I believe, with every fiber in my body, every muscle in my body, that it is this generation that is going to take this continent and rebuild it. It is this generation that will take and chase out neocolonialism from the continent and rebuild it, because we have everything which we need. We just need a little organization. And that is what we are starting to do with the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute and, together with the Rapid Africa Plan. So I thank you very much, Dr. Susan, for everything you are doing for our people and our continent. Thank you very much.
Prince?
Yes, there is nothing much I will say because Comrade Kwame has covered almost everything. What I will request from the people is to join our platform to support us, encourage us. We are so happy the way you praise us, and this is encouraging to make us to do more work. So people should, like Kwame said, come on. What you can do, support, volunteer. Sometimes we need somebody to do some graphic design for us. It's difficult. So if you can do that, you volunteer your service. It's not kind of a full-time job. It's something that you can do within 1-2 hours from time to time. That is something that you have already helped the continent. What you can do to move the continent forward, tell the people, I can do this. Susan, do you need this kind of service? I do this. Okay, you'll be setting up your embassy in Rwanda or in Uganda. I'm a plumber. Do you need that? I'm a painter. Do you need that kind of service? So you give, that is what you can contribute. So you contribute. And then the youth must remember they are not entitled to anything. That is it. You have to prepare yourself that when the time comes for you to either be given leadership or to take leadership, you are ready. Because just talking about the all giving leadership to the youth, it's not enough, because we have seen young people going to power and know nothing, do not know what they want to do. Just like Comrade Mapanga said yesterday, you have young people coming from Harvard, from Oxford, and what they come to do is what? They come and transform everything in a Eurocentric way without taking into reality our local realities.
Yes.
If you look, I'll tell you that China, there's nothing that is agreed internationally that China goes and just blindly implement. China, we agree. If you want to put pressure on China in international meetings, China will say, okay, we sign up. We are on. Yes, we agree. But a few months, weeks later, when it's time for implementation, we are sorry to inform you that the realities on the ground doesn't permit. Yes, the realities on the ground doesn't permit us to do this. So we are not doing it. We are sorry. Full stop. They're already back home. Will you go and force them? So we must be ready as Africans to say this is not good for our people. Why should we be spending billions to clean rivers when we know that the forest is there and absorbing all the pollution that is coming up, instead of building schools, building hospitals? It is time to tell these organizations, enough. This is not good for us. We are not going to take this loan. It is not good for us.
Okay.
Yes, we can raise the money to do any project we want to do.
Yes.
The Egyptians raised the money for the Suez Canal. It's owned by the Egyptians. Other countries have been raising money to do giant projects. So Africa should learn, should go to that. So please, fellow Africans, now is the time. Make your contribution. Join us to move things forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Of course, an applaud. Yes, Kwame. Really. Good job to you all. It's been a wonderful time, and I want to thank my audience and all of you in the chat. Thank you so very much, Kofi. I see you. I see Didi. Is there Analum? Is there Rebecca? Rebecca is also there. I want to thank all of you, Kofi. Yes, I said African Global, of course, always on point. Johnny Boy. Yes, off grid. How are you doing? Of course. Stephanie, I see you. I mean, I really want to thank all of you for being here. Ebes Hali. Yeah, my goodness. I mean, I can see those on the Facebook chat. Really, the ones that I'm seeing here mostly are the ones on the YouTube watching here with us and commenting. Intense passion. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, almost like the same comments going on the same thing. Sengo Baye was here also. Thank you so very much, all of you. If I didn't call your name, Didi Heyman, you're also here. I saw you also. So yes, this a lot of more than 100 watching on YouTube and then on our Facebook channels as well. So thank you so very much. Tomorrow we want to go back to everything that we've discussed today and go back to the basics, to practical. We're going to touch a very a topic that we've not been touching for so many long. I mean, I heard Nkwame talked about the trillions on the ground, but this speaker is going to tell us, you know what, Africans, even you who go to strike, but make sure that you're coming from your farm, you're on an agricultural setup,
And then when you finish from the farm, you take a day off, you go and strike, and you go back. So don't just be that one that will stay on the street striking. Because sometimes when we pick these words and these cultures that never existed between us, we have been researching when was the African striking in ancient African times. I'm giving you that assignment to all of us. When did we ever, our young people always on the street carrying placards? Whose education is that? Whose system is that?
Yes.
And just carry the placard and don't say anything. Just shut up your mouth, just quietly and peacefully demonstrate. Wow, peacefully strike. Look at how the words even contradict themselves. I want to strike, but I need to be peaceful. I need to be noble. I need to be professional in striking. Africans, you are angry, but you mind your words. You know, try to fix your words, and so community standards, don't abuse it. Just say what we want to hear. Yes, we are listening, right? No, the speaker is coming to say, you know what, Africans, there's a lot diamond. Don't believe in all the trap that they tell you. You have trillions under the ground. Until you dig it, you will not know what is there. So we're going back to handle the question of agriculture as the key and the most important strike that African young people should be striking is own a farm, own a land, cultivate, feed your community, feed yourself, and trade. Simple as that.
Yes.
Because you have the land, no Chinese is stopping you to work your land, Africans. None. It is because you leave it and you go on the street, you're striking, then they work the land for you. And in terms of working the land, they discover, oh, there's something more than just that. We saw a couple of videos trending in the Congo where just rain washed away a piece of flood and diamond was discovered. Imagine if the rains in the Congo did not flood. So the Congos would not till their land to even discover what is underground. Nobody has ever gone down there to tell us they're diamonds, they're crystals. They keep telling us all those things. An African child is not interested. So go and dig your earth. Earth will never fool you. That's what my mother used to tell me. Grew up as a farmer. I farmed every day and I cooked and I sold and I raised you and I sent you to school and I did all that. There was never a day that my crops did not grow and that we did not have food. That's the only security that will never fail you. Plant it, it will grow. Rains will come from the Creator and water it. And you just need to plant them and watch them grow. Nurture them, right? The sun would shine on it that you're blessed with. The waters will float on it. And you would see big chunks of cassavas, of bananas, of plantains, of everything. But you leave it and you go and buy in the supermarket from a Chinese. That is insane. So we want to crack on those basic things. And I think also with our institution, our work, that is what we should be encouraging the young people to do. Striking is not enough. Go and work, feed yourself so that you have the energy. When you're striking, somebody gives you a blow, you kick them out. How can you strike on an empty stomach when you can't even feed? How can you strike knowing that in your houses you will not be able to pay your bills? That's why even though we strike, at the end of the day, we are patient. Don't we just go back to work because we need to pay them bills, right? It is time for us to build that wealth that we're talking about, and it is left on the 60% uncultivated every land that we have on the continent of Africa. Diaspora, go back and just buy your piece of land. Only cultivate food to feed yourself and live. More you don't need. Africans, we go back on horsebacks, and they use the horseback and produce cars and tell us they are horse cars. Which are the real things, right? So let us meet back here tomorrow. Let us meet back here tomorrow, and we crack this with Dr. Isaac Zama. He's a very practical guy, and he can teach you all the tricks. He's a PhD as well, but it's this kind of PhDs that are the PhDs, not the PhD. Right? And so, yes, he is an international expert, really, really grounded. He's been working, mobilizing the communities, teaching young people how to raise bees, how to transform urine into organic, into biogas mass, how to just produce organic and feed themselves first. Yeah, and then do farm to market. So I like you guys to be here And do not forget, if it's your first time, to like, subscribe, and share our videos. And watch out, there's a lot coming up. The AfroWorld.tv platform, your social media platform, is open for tradings. As we all said, you can register, sign an account, and you begin to sell whatever thing you want to sell to your brothers in the Caribbean. A lot of them have been reaching out to us. Oh, they want to buy African fabrics. African fabrics are there buying Chinese fabrics. What is wrong with us? Right now we're building all this thing, but it's time for all of us to get engaged, do the work, and together we build the Africa we want. So thank you so very much for listening. We see ourselves same time tomorrow with Dr. Isaac Zama on the program Education for Sustainability. Yes. So good night, all of you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you very much. I say.
Thank you. Madase.
What I say. Yeah.
You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherlands calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.